Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting Art of War Codex review. It is finally time. Nightfall is here, and so I'm joined by our knight expert Brian Jones to talk about the brand new Imperial Knight Codex.
It's finally here, John. We have been waiting and tempted, and we've been on the roadmap, and now we are here. We have the keys to our newest knight, and we get to see some really cool updates. I'm excited to join all of the other armies that have a codex.
Absolutely. I'm really excited that Imperial Knights are finally getting their long-awaited codex. They have waited for it, but I think this book might be worth the wait. We've got a lot of really exciting things in this codex for you. If you like Knights, if you like this video, please like the video, share with your friends, leave a comment, subscribe. All these buttons you can click on YouTube actually are really helpful for us, and they help us grow the channel. As well, if you subscribe to our channel, you will get notified every time we go live with new content, which I gotta tell you, every time there's a new codex, we make a lot of new content. As a matter of fact, we're gonna have tier lists coming up with the new Knight Codex. We're gonna have games coming up. We're gonna get a lot of Brian's thoughts here on YouTube, as well as in the War Room. You can get a free 3-day trial to the War Room by clicking in the link in the description right below. That's thewarroom.vhx.tv. And as a matter of fact, we're gonna have a game there right now featuring the new Imperial Knight Codex.
I cannot wait, and I'm so excited for you all to see the new tricks we have.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting things in there, and we're gonna have to get a couple games, I expect, to really try out all the different knight detachments that we have available.
And that is one of the things I would love right off the top about the book, is that we are excited to try every detachment.
Yep, there are options. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with the army rule. We'll start off with Code Chivalric. This is the army rule. It's somewhat similar to what we had before.
I think, yeah, very much so. But now we get to kind of mix and match. For all of you before, our previous one was you basically picked one benefit, and based on the benefit you chose, you got an objective to accomplish to become honored. Now you get to pick, or you could choose to roll randomly if you feel so inclined, but I don't know why you ever would.
Yeah.
But you can choose the benefit, and then you choose how you want to accomplish it with one of 3 options, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah.
Because it just gives you that ability to adjust to the matchup, as well as like try to do different things with different lists, different game plans in mind. Because as we all know, we weren't really seeing a lot of Reclaim the Realm in the current index, John.
So the buzzwords that they're using are deed and quality.
There it is.
There are 3 deeds you can roll or choose. And when you accomplish your deed, you become honored, and you gain 2 command points.
So down from 3, but
if you randomly select your deed, it will be 3 command points.
And I will say, there are a few matchups that I might be tempted for that, but having control over it, because these deeds are very achievable.
Yep. And all of the honored end command point is just when the deed is complete. So the timing is now in the deed itself.
Yeah, it's no more waiting for your following command phase. You're just, boom, you're going to pick up 3 CP in that moment, which could be, I don't know, really helpful in, say, a go turn or something like that, which is why that control over having my deed feels very important.
And same as before, the CP that you gain here are an exception to the rule about limiting the amount of CP that you can gain in a battle round. Now, there are also 3 qualities. The quality is the actual rules benefit. So we're going to start by going through the deeds. This is what you are trying to accomplish with your army. You're going to have one of these 3 deeds active most of your games. So the first deed is we vow to lay low the tyrant. If at the start of the battle, you can select 1 character model. So no longer the warlord, you get to select 1 character. And the deed is complete at the end of a turn if that character is destroyed.
I really like this update because there were some armies where the warlord, it was never coming out to play. Yeah. You know, everyone knows right now when you play Imperial Knights, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your warlord is?
Yeah.
And now this gives us the ability to say, oh, you have, chaplain buffing that unit that you're going to send forward. Great. That's my choice. And it's going to force some interesting decisions on your opponent, and it's going to feel much more attainable every game versus some games you're like, oh, your warlord is starting in reserves. I won't see it for 3 turns.
And here's the thing, is because you selected at the start of the battle, you actually get to see deployment first. So there's a little bit of a, if you choose lay low the tyrant, which you'll choose at the end of the read mission step, but then your opponent has to deploy knowing any of their characters has to be hidden. So they kind of have to be conservative with all of them in deployment, otherwise they risk deed.
Yep.
Now, the second deed is We Swear to Reclaim the Realm. This deed is complete at the end of your opponent's turn if you control more objective markers than your opponent. No turn limit on this. This could happen top of one if you just like infiltrated something and then your opponent didn't run at you.
Very interesting, I think. This is there. You could build lists using agents and other tools to make this a top of one. Hi, I'm just ahead on CP. I have
a beat, and you're honored.
Yeah, and I'm honored, which plays into some of our stratagems and things like that. Big improvement over what it was before, which was hold an objective in your opponent's deployment zone.
Yeah, that was much more difficult. So far, both of these deeds are easier to accomplish, but now there is a third deed, and this one is new. We pledge to reap a great tally. Oh, this is the kill one.
Loving that. Love the name.
So this deed is complete at the end of a turn if the number of enemy units destroyed is greater than the battle round number, even if those units are subsequently returned to the battlefield. So, battle round 1, if in either player's turn you kill 2 units, you have reaped a great tally. Battle round 2, if you kill 3 units, and so on.
I see this one is fascinating to me in that it is, if you don't pop off or get it initially, you're actually giving yourself much more of an uphill climb to get to it. Yeah. So while everyone would go, well, that's a no-brainer, I'm going to take that one every time. There's a gamble there because what if you're in a matchup that you don't want to push forward or your opponent just, like say the mirror where you're a very low unit count army.
I might just pick one of their knights and say, yeah, once I kill that one, we're good.
So very interesting. I love all 3 deeds. All 3 of those feel very attainable. And, that's good. Maybe if there was like a way to, I don't know, say, go for multiple of them.
If indeed. I will say for those of you listening now that I believe that, while the CP bonus is nice, being honored is going to be slightly less impactful than it is now. We'll see that as we talk about the detachments and the rules. But it is also sounding like it's going to be easier to become honored. So a bit of a trade-off there.
Yeah.
Now, there are also 3 qualities. You want to go ahead and read these for us?
Sure. And so these qualities, these are going to be the benefits that you've got by choosing to accomplish your deed. Now,
you roll this.
You could roll it again, but why? That's my question to you.
You're not going to.
Unless you're just really into trusting the dice. But so you have these from the get-go, these benefits. So there is, with our martial valor risen overall, and this one's going to sound very familiar. Each time a model is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll 1 hit roll and 1 wound roll. So it's our current Laylo the Tyrant benefit, just now it's one of 3 options.
Yep.
We also get We Are Eager for the Challenge, which is add 2 inches to the model's move characteristic and add 1 to advance and charge rolls. That is a nice upgrade over its previous.
Better than before. So it's +2 to move, +1 to advance, +1 charge?
Yes.
Which, if you can find a way to advance and charge, that's essentially +4 movement.
And say there was a stratagem or anything to be able to also increase movement.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, or increase advance rolls.
That'd be great.
You can
go very fast.
You can go very fast. That is a quality in this book, is that there are options to go fast.
Yes.
Quality. So I love it. Like right away, we actually have something to compete with rerolling 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll, which was just what everyone took. There are certain lists and certain matchups where you're gonna, cool. That's the quality for me. And I like the third one, which is Yet Shall Our Legacy Be Unsullied. And this is improve models OC characteristic by 2 and increase their leadership by 1.
And there's no rider on this that says while you're not battle shocked.
Correct.
So battle shocked knight is still OC2 in this example.
And this gives us something that I felt like is an Achilles heel. In fact, John, we had a match at the Crucible tournament a couple of years ago that you exploited this heavily, that the variance for battle shock for knights is super impactful because 2 battle shocked units can wipe out our primary. And it's, Armigers are on a 7, big knights are on a 6. As soon as you start stacking negative modifiers, it's worrisome. Yeah. Say, I don't know, Tyranids, John.
Exactly.
Still keeps me up at night. But this, you're going to take your big knights back up to, they're going to go up to OC12. You're going to take your Armigers up to OC8. And then all of your big knights are going to go lead 5. And Armigers at lead 6.
In certain matchups, that is going to be very important.
So again, it's normally you would go, oh, you said OC and leadership. This has got to be a throwaway. No, in our faction, all three of these are viable in really any matchup. I love the update to our army rule. I think, we all got bored of choosing the same thing over and over, and now having different ways of accomplishing and different benefits that we can get, and you being able to choose them each game. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
There are times where I'm going to struggle what to choose with, I think.
Yeah. My suspicion here is that the default is still going to be reroll a hit and wound. But that instead of it just being what you play in every single game, it's going to be what you play in most games, but you'll keep in mind, and I think the experienced Knight players are going to realize, I actually want to go faster against Eldar or against Drukar. And there's going to be those matchups where you're going to test it and realize that there is a better choice, or against Tyranids or Chaos Knights, maybe you do want that better leadership in OC. Now, if I had to make one complaint about this new Code Chivalric, the naming convention is awful.
Oh, yeah.
Awful.
I'm with you there.
I am so sorry.
How many of you did not follow what was what? And you're just like, all right, so there's a benefit and something I have to do.
With our martial valor risen over all. That's the name of the rule. Can we just call this martial valor?
Listen,
As a
John,
community, can we just agree on this?
can I just lecture you? And
Layla the Tyrant and martial valor. Those are my choices. Back to you. Like, if you want to step up and give us a speech before the battle, I admire it, but I
in
can't.
the honor of my household and how I
Under
defend
your
it.
household.
I agree with you. I think Layla the Tyrant will be a default, but Reaper Great Tally is definitely going to come into play if you're bringing infiltrators my way. Woo-hoo-hoo!
That is nice.
And even I think you can build this around some of those. Like you can build this around controlling more objectives than your opponent in their turn. Cool. I bring in a hyper aggressive army and take 3 on turn 1.
You just like infiltrate a lone op onto 1 and then deploy your army on the line. Are they going to run forward on top of 1? I don't know if they are.
And now I have my benefit.
Now you're honored.
And extra CP that, if we had good stratagems, I might really be eager to spend.
Yeah, check back us on us with that one.
Yeah.
Now there are more army rules to talk about, such as Bondsman and Super Heavy Walker and Free Blades. So I'm going to go through those, but these are broadly unchanged from what they were before.
I don't believe any of the 3 have changed, have they?
They didn't. So, but for anyone who's perhaps new to Imperial Knights, Bondsman is an ability that you're going to see on some Imperial Knight models, and it's kind of a tag where an ability is going to say Bondsman. If so, this is how it works. In your command phase, one or more models with a Bondsman ability can use that ability. For each one that does, select a friendly Armiger keyword within 12 inches of that model that has not already been affected by a Bondsman ability. Fair enough. Until the start of your next command phase, that Armiger model is affected by that Bondsman ability. Okay, that's the exact same as right now.
Yep.
Totally fine. Good rule.
Handy buff.
Handy buff. Super Heavy Walker. This is also the same as right now. Each time a model with this ability makes a normal, advance, or fallback move, still not charged, it can move through models, excluding Titanic, and sections of terrain features that are 4 inches or less in height. When doing so, it can move through engagement range of those models and literally over them, but just can't end with an engagement range. Same as before. And it can move through sections of terrain that are more than 4 inches in height. But if you do, after it has moved, roll a d6. On a 1, that model is battle shocked.
Now, that's pretty great that, say I took a certain quality that even if I managed to battle shock myself, I would still have an OC value.
You know what? There is some genuine value to quite a lot of those, yeah.
How many times have you tried to do a risky move on turn 5 to secure an objective to roll the 1 and say, well, that was fun?
Yeah, I actually had someone do that to me in WTC. They walked a knight onto a sticky objective, rolled the 1. I was like, oops.
That's very unfortunate.
Guess it's still mine. And now you're on the objective. Shame I don't have full rerolls to wound against you.
Oh, boy.
That was best. That was such a good day. The final rule here is Free Blades. This is for all the non-knight players in the room. If you play Guard, Space Marines, but you like taking a knight, this is for you. If every model in your army has the Imperium keyword, you can include either 1 Titanic Imperial Knights model or up to 3 Armiger models in your army, even if they do not have a faction keyword you selected in the select army faction stat. None of these models can be your warlord, and they cannot be given enhancements. Totally reasonable.
Yep.
No detachments, no enhancements, just you can
Only
still take
core stratagem support.
only core strats. You can still take Canis Rex, though, if you want. That is the exact same as it is now. So what we're going to do next is we're going to actually go through the data sheets for a little bit of context before we go ahead and read through these detachments. These detachments are exciting, but some of them are a little specific, and you might need to know what an Armiger does before we read the Armiger detachment.
You're going to want that context.
Or indeed.
Largely, we'll say up front, all of these match the updated stat lines that we've received following the Chaos Knight Codex release. So you're looking at T11 on Questoris, T12 on Dominus, T9 on Armigers. Yeah, along with the slightly increased.
Mostly in line. There's a couple of changes that I'll actually have to remind Brian of.
Okay.
So I'll start you off with the Knight Castellan. The Knight Castellan is the stat line you would expect, which is that it's T12, 28 wounds, leadership 6, 3 up armor, 5 up mental shooting only, movement 8.
There it is.
And it's OC 8.
Ah.
Yeah, you forgot about that.
I did. I forgot that we've dropped to OC 8.
It's a little bit lower than 10.
That is.
Now, it does come with some pretty good guns, and it comes with some similar rules to before. It's Deadly Demise D6 plus 2. It's has Iron Aegis, which is that it is a 6-inch aura for friendly armigers to receive the benefits of cover against ranged attacks, which is, it's fine. It's not that impactful.
And John, remind me, Chaos Knights kept OC 10?
Chaos Knights do have more OC than you.
I'm curious how, if we may see something change that. I certainly hope so, but it's going to be a really interesting divergence between the two armies if that stays.
I enjoy it. And I think it should be. I think it should be this way. Look, I'll trade the OC for the reroll any day of the week.
I hear you.
The other rule for the Castellan is Titan Hunter. Each time a range attack made by this model is allocated to a monster or vehicle, you can reroll the damage roll. Not hit or wound, although you get those innately, but damage.
That is a nice increase.
It is a nice increase.
Over, currently, it is just, you can reroll damage rolls of 1. So, love that.
Reroll your choose.
Yeah.
As for weapons, the Plasma Decimator is similar to current, but I think actually slightly better. It's 48-inch range, D6 plus 3 shots, blast. It has a hazardous profile, a regular profile. The regular profile is strength 8, AP 3, damage 2. And the overcharged version is strength 9, AP 4, damage 3, which I believe is just an AP increase.
We've picked up a 1 AP increase, yep.
You do not hate to see that. No. Still a good weapon.
AP is always something we've struggled with as an army. We're predominantly in that AP1, AP2 range, so having access to another AP4 weapon that's not a Melt-A-Gun?
The Plasma Decimator is going to actually be quite solid into Steeljacks. Not that we're going to see 18 of those on every table. The Shieldbreaker Missile Launcher is still 1 shot, strength 12, AP 6, damage D6 plus 1, anti-Titanic 4 plus devastating wounds. It has...
Not 1 shot and that's single use, but single attack.
1 attack.
Yes.
You can shoot it 5 times.
Yep.
Across 5 turns. And then the Twin Melt-A-Gun is a Twin Melt-A-Gun. The Twin Siegebreaker Cannon, the same thing. It's D6 blast shots.
Still, unfortunately,
0 damage to 1 and linked. The Volcano Lance, I think, is unchanged. It is 72-inch range. Blast, D3 shots. Strength is 18. AP is 5. Damage is D6 plus 8. It's a very solid weapon, but that shot count roll is everything.
It's just, if they don't have an invuln, you love that gun.
Yeah.
If they have rerollable 4-up invuln,
ay. And then the Titanic Feet and Melee are 4 attacks of weapon skill 4, strength 8, AP 1, damage 2. It has the same weapon options as before, which are not that.
And it remains weapon skill 5, right?
It's weapon skill 4.
Oh, all right.
It's weapon skill 4.
Okay.
And all of its weapons are ballistic skill 3. So the Castellan is not changing in points from what it currently is, which we saw a couple of weeks ago. We got
410 points.
410. And I'll go ahead and say it now. Every single data sheet is the same cost now that it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yep. So again, we saw that,
emergency MFM
and end of August update to the Uniform Field Manual, and we're seeing the same points costs. So that's what we're expecting, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
I'll do the Valiant real quick and then pass it to you because the Valiant's can be very fast. The Valiant is the exact same profile in every way as the Castellan. It just has 2 different guns and 2 different rules. One of those rules is actually not different. It's Iron Aegis again. You still give cover to Armigers. Yay, that doesn't matter.
If only there was another knight that did that, but better.
So much better. But Thundershock is an interesting rule.
I do love this. This has me tempted.
Yeah.
This has me tempted.
In your shooting phase, each time you select a target for this model's Thundercoil Harpoon, roll 1d6 for the target unit and 1d6 for each enemy unit within 6 inches of the target unit. That is large. 6 inches is large. On a 4+,
and it ignores lone op.
The rolling part does ignore lone op. Yeah. The gun doesn't. The rolling part is lone op is unrelated. But on a 4+, the unit being rolled for is struck by the arcing energies and takes D3 mortal wounds after you're done resolving the attack. But if you find a horde unit and shoot it with a harpoon, yeah, it doesn't sound like it's that much. That is a lot of just like everything within 6.
Or say you had, you know, a large gargoyle or gaunt unit that, I don't know, John, you had strung across the table and might be technically within 6 inches of almost your entire army.
That would be bad.
It would be. Now, we do see a slightly different stat line on this harpoon than we do in the Chaos version, right?
We do. So this is a 12-inch range, blast devastating wounds, D3 shots, ballistic skill 3, strength 24, AP 6, damage 10. And I think the Chaos version is damage 12.
We don't shoot it as hard.
I genuinely assume that this is going to get corrected, but at the moment, it's only damage 10, which is like, okay, it's still pretty good.
Plus D3 mortals, hopefully.
Plus D3 mortals, maybe. The conflagration cannon is unchanged, however, which is that it's 3d6 shots, 18-inch range, strength 8 AP 1 damage, 2 torrent ignore cover. And I'll tell you for free, we know that this exists in the Grotmist detachment for Knights, but there is no way to overwatch this in the Codex detachment. So if you're thinking it, I'll just tell you now. You're not going to be overwatching this unless you take Questor Forge Pack.
And listen, we know that I do love Throne Guy's Fury because I have almost a 100% success rate with it into John. So
incredible.
And there are still models in here that will tempt you.
There still are. There still are. All right, so that's it for the 2 Dominus Knights.
All right, let's talk about our mighty Questoris chassis. These are kind of the bread and butter of the Imperial Knight households. And we're going to kick things off with the Knight Paladin, which in the index, one of my favorite knights, actually. We see a few changes for these Questoris models. Again, we do see the kind of general changes we had seen. Movement 10, T11, 3-up armor save, 5-up in Bogan's shooting, 26 wounds, leadership 6, OC 8 in the Codex. So again, I'm going to cross my fingers. You know, maybe we get 2 OC, 2 damage on our harpoon, like our Chaos friends. I don't know. We shall see what happens. Now, with the Paladin, we see largely the same datasheet abilities. The Paladin's Duty Bondsman remains the exact same, so that is going to give lethal hits and lance to any Armiger that you bondsman with the Paladin. Now, Seasoned Noble does see a change here, and while I loved the current version of it, I don't hate this one either. Each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets the closest eligible target, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1.
That's pretty good.
Now we will note that the Paladin totes a rapid fire battle cannon that the primary complaint about has been is only AP 1. Now suddenly is going to be AP 2 against the closest eligible target, ideally in, you know, say rapid fire range. So
you're within 36.
2d6 plus 6 shots at AP 2, and say you had an ability to, I don't know, remove cover. That's a pretty good weapon.
That's a good battle cannon right there.
So I am slightly excited about that change. I will miss getting like a free save, hit, or wound reroll each phase, but I do think this helps correct one of the weaknesses that this data sheet kind of had.
For sure, that's a good one. And I think that the other Questoris weapons we can kind of cover now, like the chainsword, the gauntlet.
Yep. Chainsword, gauntlet, 4 attacks for the chainsword strike, strength 14, AP 4, flat 6. The sweep, you're looking at 12. So again, about 3 swings from sweep to strike. And strength 9, AP 3, 2 damage. So again, the chainsword is what you're looking for higher AP. Then with the gauntlet, you're seeing fewer attacks. You actually, surprisingly, you get the same number of strikes as 4 at strength 20. AP 3, flat 8 damage. And then on the sweep, though, you're only seeing 8 swings, but it's strength 10, AP 2, flat 3. So you really do you have to make a conscious choice about what you're going to go.
Yeah,
want to be able to accomplish in combat.
I like the fist more, but there is some real appeal to the volume of the sweep and the AP of the chainsword. So it's not just black and white.
Yeah, damage 3 is a really nice sweet spot to be, but also AP 3, because only AP 2 on the gauntlet, have access to AOC. It just, I don't know. So there's give and take on both of those, both valid options. Our next Questoris Knight is going to be the Errant. Again, stat line as described for the Paladin. His bondsman ability Errant's duty remains the exact same, which is it is going to give reroll advance rolls for any model at bondsman's, and ranged weapons are going to gain the assault ability.
Okay.
So it's your Questoris that's going to help kind of your Armigers launch forward and still find usage in their guns.
For sure.
And then its Datasheet ability, aggressive assault. Each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets the closest eligible unit, add 1 to the hit roll. So again, similar to what we have seen in the Errant. In its current iteration, very useful with the thermal cannon for taking out, as long as you can make sure that your primary target is the closest eligible.
And it's just the closest eligible. Is it currently the closest monster vehicle and now it's just the closest target?
It may be monster vehicle, yeah. So closest eligible is a bit of a downgrade.
It's an upgrade if you're shooting infantry.
Yeah.
So it's a downgrade if you're shooting a tank with an infantry in front of it. Give and take. A little give and take on that. But like if you're shooting something like Possessed, you're happy you're hitting on 2s and winning on 2s there.
Yep. For its ranged weapons, we do have the carapace weapons for all of these Questoris models. Same 3 options. The Ironstorm Missile Pod, which is our one indirect fire option in this book. We are not Chaos Knights. We can only have a Questoris Knight fire indirect. It is D6 plus 1 shots, 48-inch range, blast, indirect, strength 5, no AP, 1 damage. You can have, the Meltagun or the Stubber attached as the carapace little shooter. And then the other 2 carapace options are the Storm Sphere Rocket Pod, which is the one I think we saw the most usage with. It's kind of the crack missile launcher. 3 shots, 48-inch range, strength 8, AP 2, D6 damage.
Yeah, it does something sometimes.
Yeah. And then the final one, the Twin Icarus autocannon, anti-fly 2, twin linked. It is, when you put it on a Warden, it can be fun. We'll get into why in just a moment, but yeah, you've got three options there. One does, to me, lean far ahead of the other 2 as a general all-rounder.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And then let's talk about...
you mind if I ask, how many points do these guys cost? They're the same as...
They are the same as they currently are. And so for the Errant and the Paladin, we are looking at a Knight Errant is 375, as is the Knight Paladin at 375. And the next honorable gentleman we're going to talk about, the Knight Gallant, is also 375.
Okay, there you go.
Now, we do see a different data sheet here than the other 2 in that the Gallant has movement 12. So much like before, has a higher movement as it's your combat Questoris Knight.
As you should.
It's going to have 2 different melee options and a carapace gun and a stubber or melta gun. So we do see movement 12. It has a bondsman ability, Gallant's duty, and while a model is affected by that, it can reroll charge rolls, and each time it makes a melee attack, it can reroll the hit roll.
That's actually quite solid.
It's good. Especially into, when we look at the Warglaive, obviously less helpful with a Helverin, but
a Warglaive,
quite good into a Warglaive. Now, we did see a change to its datasheet ability, Martial Pride. Previously, in the index version, this was a -1 to be hit in combat. We now see that each time this unit consolidates, models in it can move an additional 3 inches, provided your unit in that move with an engagement range of 1 or more enemy units.
And that's just consolidate, not pile in.
Just consolidate. But that is a 6-inch pile in, or 6-inch consolidate. And now, if there was another way of increasing that, we could see something crazy like a 9-inch consolidate move where
we could see you go pretty fast.
You could just slingshot across the table, which could be terrifying.
It'd be crazy.
They made one other tweak with the Gallant that I really do like. With the 2 melee options now, you have interesting choices. These are only on the Gallant's weapons. So the other Questoris melee weapons don't have this. But on the Gallant, its Reaper Chainsword, the strike profile, so the big swing, has dev wounds.
Okay.
So, all right, cool. Dev wounds with strength 14 to
like 6 attacks, weapon skill 2, right?
6 attacks, weapon skill 2.
Okay.
With dev wounds now. The sweep on the chainsword, lethal hits.
Okay.
So 18 attacks, strength 9, AP 3, 2 damage with lethal. Hitting on 2s.
18 attacks hitting on 2s lethal is a lot better than the 12 attacks that same weapon had on a Paladin.
Especially with, AP 3 lethal, that's good into everything.
Yeah.
Now, the Thunderstrike Gauntlet, we see something similar. The strike, the big smash, we have dev wounds again.
Okay.
We see 6 attacks here versus 4 previously, same that 20, neg 3, flat 8 damage. And then we see 12 on the sweep for the Thunderstrike Gauntlet, also with lethal.
Okay.
At strength 10, neg 2, flat 3. So I love that they give it, you really have a reason to choose a specific weapon and a specific profile now.
Yeah. So compared to normal, you get more attacks, better weapon skill, dev on the strike, lethal on the sweeps when you choose the Gallant.
Yeah.
Actually much better in combat than the other guys. And that is significant.
Because previously you had the option for the 2 weapons, but you were like, oh, I have only 2 more attacks. This, I feel it's a real differentiator. I like what they've done with this data sheet.
Yep. I do as well.
All right, John, you want to lean into our next couple of new Questoris, which I believe will include our newest friend.
Let's see here. So we'll start off here with the Warden. So the Warden is still a Questoris Knight. Now, he still has the Avenger Gatling Cannon. It's the same profile as before, 36-inch range, 18 shots, strength 6, AP 2, damage 2. We don't really need to cover all of the different weapons because they're the same as they would be on a Paladin or an Errant. Now, what's different is that he has his rule. So Warden's Duty is a new bondsman ability. It is not the same as it was before.
It has changed.
-1 damage, it is not that whatsoever. So it's now going to give the Armiger that it bonds. Sustained hits 1 and ignores cover for all ranged weapons. So the sustained hits 1 does come in melee. The ignore cover obviously is only ranged, but that is a noticeable increase on the output of something such as a Helverin.
Mm-hmm. Or
even a Warglaive in combat.
Because of their, we'll get to their data sheet change, but having a way to stack sustained onto them is nice.
Yeah.
So that's a good all-arounder, as it was with -1 damage. And then its data sheet ability
has basically stayed the same. So thin their ranks is when you make a range attack that targets an enemy unit that is not a monster in vehicle, the attack gains devastating wounds, which a lot of people would take as an excuse to take the
Icarus Autocannon
on top because it's anti-fly 2+, and so when you
and
find
twin linked, re-roll it.
when you find something that is when you find someone that is fly and not a monster vehicle, they just take mortals.
Yep.
It was always very funny when you saw something like Thousand Suns with like a disc character and a rubric squad. You just point the Icarus out and you're like, yeah, 3 rubric guys are dead. It's like, yeah, 2 damage, anti-fly 2+, dev wounds, get out of here.
Very handy into Blood Angels.
Yeah, very handy to Blood Angels as well. So pretty fun. And I think that would still be the best top weapon. But the Warden, solid. Mm-hmm. And as far as points go, I think he has stayed the same.
He's at 385, so he's 10 more than the others, which...
Yeah, I don't think he needs to be 10 more. I think he could have been the same cost and be fine. He's still good, though, and I still might take him.
I agree. I've always found the Warden... the Avenger Gatling Cannon is a great weapon, but I just always find the Warden can't quite do enough in ranged, can't quite do enough in combat.
Sadly. The next choice is the Crusader. So the Crusader...
This is our double weapon...
Double guns.
Big boy.
He is basically unchanged. He is the profile you'd expect defensively. He is a Questoris class knight. He carries weapons that we have covered up to this point, so I will not rehash them. His guns, unlike a Gallant, do not get better just for being in. They don't get ballistic skill 2 or sustained hits or anything for that. But Crusader's Duty, bondsman ability, gives +1 to hit, to range attacks. Perfectly good. You don't mind having that on a Helverin, just hit on 2s or even a Warglaive. Not about. And then his other rule is, I think, still the same, which is in your movement phase, if you remain stationary, until the end of the turn, you gain sustained hits on your ranged weapon, which is very slightly different because I don't think you gain it until your next turn. So if you found a way to overwatch, you would not be sustained hits anymore. Because I believe you...
It's the end of the turn now.
Now that is only Quest or Forge packs, so this is very niche, so it's effectively the same, but it is mildly different. And I will actually pass it back to you because...
Well, now that gentleman does come, and he comes in more expensive than the others.
He does.
395.
As he should.
Yeah.
He should not be.
He's toting some big guns. He still has the option. He has the Avenger Gatling that you have to take, and then the option of either a rapid-fire battle cannon or thermal cannon.
Yeah. Which, both very good guns. The next knight, though, is the Defender, and I actually am going to pass it to you for this one.
I'm very excited. So, everybody, this is our newest kit. Everybody has basically advanced in. He is hanging out here watching over us. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited to get to dive in, build, and hobby him up. So the Knight Defender, we're looking at 10-inch move, T11, 26 wounds.
Sure is a Questoris knight.
Oh, it is until he's a 3-up armor save, but he has a 4-up invulnerable save against ranged, just all the time.
So it is ranged only.
Ranged only.
But it is a 4-up invuln.
4-up invuln all the time.
That's better than a 5-up.
Is better than a 5-up.
Better than a 5-up.
And let's see if there may be other ways he could help help the rest of the household out. So his bondsman ability is Defender's Duty. And here, when a model is affected by this ability, each time an attack is allocated to that model, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic.
Just yeeted that right off of.
Just took it right off the Warden.
Right off of. Just yoink, that's mine now.
That's mine.
Best bondsman ability, I'll take that. Oof.
So he is ready to make your Armigers better than they were.
Mm-hmm.
And then his Datasheet ability, ooh, John.
Yeah, lay it on me.
Selfless Protector.
Okay.
Each time a ranged attack is allocated to an Imperial Knights model from your army, if that model is not fully visible to every model in the attacking unit because of this Knight Defender model, so if the slightest part of any other knight is obscured by the arm, the banner, anything
of any part of the knight covers any part of the other knight,
that Imperial Knight has the benefit of cover and
not so
a
good.
4+ invulnerable save against the attack. Oh, wow.
And this is ranged only, right?
Ranged only.
Still.
But by standing in front, everyone else getting a 4 invul.
Yeah. So there's going to be a little firing line of, here's a Crusader next to a Defender. The Crusader shoves his battle cannon into the armpit of the Defender, and you just cannot see every molecule of the Crusader. Nope. Cool, they both have cover, they both have...
And prepare for everyone's Defender to be modeled almost just like the box, but with those arms perhaps rotated slightly farther out to just extend that, slightly obscuring effect.
So great rules from the new Defender.
Fantastic. And we haven't talked about its weapons. Right now,
he does have weapons.
He does have weapons too. And you might be going, oh, okay, well, I mean, with those Datasheet abilities, obviously, we're probably looking at not bringing a lot of offensive punch, right?
Just like the Ruinator.
Exactly. So we have the ranged weapons. As you can see, he has 2, like the Crusader. He has a conversion beam obliterator. So this is a conversion weapon. It's a 36-inch range, 3 attacks, ballistic skill 3, strength 12, AP 2, flat 4 damage.
Good gun.
That is a better version of the Votann one. And guess what? It has sustained hits D3. The Votann Casino closed down and the Imperial Knights Casino is here. Everybody get excited. So
it has the conversion ability.
It has the conversion ability.
So what that does.
Every time you shoot this weapon, if the target is more than 18 inches away, which is half range, then an unmodified successful hit roll of 4 scores a crit hit. So if you're shooting something more than 18 inches away, 3 shots, critting on 4s for sustained hits D3. And it is 2 higher strength than the Votann version at strength 12. And as you all know, our Questoris Knights are now, T11. So this is wounding other Knights on 3s.
Yeah. So this is a very good weapon. And we've already seen that there is the ability to reroll a hit and a wound. So it's very feasible for you to shoot this conversion beamer. 3 shots, crit 4s, reroll a hit. You have very reasonable odds of getting 2 crits there, which means that you're not unlikely to say 3 shots, 6 or 7 hits.
At strength 12, AP 2,
damage,
flat 4.
If you can find any way to work on that AP situation by either buffing it or ignoring cover, this is going to be one tapping a hull.
Sign me up. I'm so excited. Now, on the other arm, we have the Plasma Executor.
Ooh.
So slightly different than our friend the Castellan. This is more, John, we have a Castellan at home. Okay. It's 36-inch range. Sounds familiar. D6 plus 3 shots. Also sounds familiar. The standard profile, blast, strength 8, AP 2 damage. So that down 1 AP from the Castellan's version. The overcharge, also 36. Blast, hazardous, D6 plus 3. Strength 9, AP 3 damage.
Okay, so a perfectly good gun on the other arm. I like having that. It's not a world ender, but it's good.
AP 3 anti-infantry gun is nice to have.
Yeah, just kill several possessed, several sword brethren, several Sangard, call it a day.
Love it. I'm so glad it's here. Now, what's interesting is this has some different auxiliary weapons than every other knight, and that's because this Knight Defender has been upkept by the Mechanicum. It's ancient, and it's got some really interesting esoteric weapons.
It's ancient and will probably be rarely seen on the battlefield.
Surely it will be rarely seen.
Absolutely.
So it has instead of a stubber or meltagun, it has a phosphor blaster, which ignores cover, rapid fire 1, single shot, ballistic skill 3, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. I wish it had another shot, but okay, it's a slight.
Honestly, it's just a worse stubber.
Yeah, it's a worse stubber.
I don't care.
But then it also has a twin Incendine Combustor. So love seeing a flamer come on there.
Okay.
Ignores cover, torrent, twin linked, D6, strength 6, AP 1 damage.
Okay, so it's like a twin link sisters flamer. That's good.
It's a nice way of clearing out some chaff.
You like to have that. You're trying not to
and
have
a twin link, straight 6 when you're trying to nibble away on something else. It doesn't hurt. And then it has Titanic Feet. So 4 attacks at weapon skill 4. So notable, we're dropping to the weapon skill 4.
Yeah.
Not the
Crusader
3.
had the same.
Correct. Yep. So same twin guns are always going to be a lower weapon skill. Strength 8, AP 1, 2 damage.
Cost.
Now, this boy is coming in at 425. So he is pricier. That is, for those of you
The most expensive so far.
It is. That is more expensive than a Dominus Knight. 30 points more than Crusader.
There is a reason.
Yes, there is a reason.
There's a reason.
John, I don't know how every list for me doesn't start with one of these, just because that is an amazing defensive buff for the entire army.
He brings a unique strength that I am willing to pay for.
Certainly. We don't have another data sheet like this. And for those of you who use the Crusader a lot and the Errant, thermal cannon melt to 6. That's pretty nice, but it's only a 24-inch range. Yeah. Now we finally have a long-range anti-vehicular gun that other than the Volcano Lance, sorry, it does exist. And I'm very, very excited to get this on the table.
I'll also mention, while we're kind of here, that the Defender has the force field generator on its back, and so it doesn't get a top carapace weapon.
Correct. It doesn't get a carapace weapon. It has its lovely little top hat generator that's just kind of shooting out its shield.
Yep. So even though it probably has 2 better guns than a Crusader, it doesn't have the 3rd gun.
It does not.
Which is
worse stubber.
Worse stubber. So I still think it's better than a Crusader. I think it costs more for a reason. I agree with you that I expect every Imperial Knight list to include a minimum of 1 Defender. It's expensive enough that I'm not confident we're going to see 2.
Agree.
But I think after we play with it, we will know quickly whether or not that second one is worth it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be surprised when the Knight themes, such as yourself, buy 2, test it, and you'll decide on if 1 or 2 is right. I do think 1 is going to be the minimum.
We all know I need more magnetized Questoris chassis, right?
You always do. You always do.
But I think, getting it on the table, seeing how that rule, Selfless Protector, is really written to just benefit the Knight player as much as possible. If any part of the model is not visible to every model.
That rule is also great to have in 2 places, because if you have 1 Crusader stapled to a Defender, that's a great firing platform, but it is only in 1 place. And so it's just not everywhere, and your opponent can shoot the other Knights. But if you have 2, 1 on one flank, 1 on another, everyone nearby is covered. And that can be devastating. We'll see if any detachments are going to be encouraging this.
And for those of you thinking the Defender and deployment, you're going to want to practice this a lot. You want to keep the Defender almost last so that you can see if your opponent has ranged anti-tank threats. Can I deploy my Defender to where he is between it and every Knight in my deployment zone? There's going to be games where you're able to leverage that and to really safeguard yourself in those first few turns.
Yeah, that Defender's really
So I'm very excited. For $850 at 2, I'm just not sure if I'm willing to give almost half my list to those 2. When they, much like the Crusader, the problem of they can't really fight their way out of combat.
Yep, you have to be very...
because the Plasma is blast. The Conversion is not, but it's only 3 shots and it will not be critting on force. So definitely a concern there.
If 10 Orc boys touch you, it's going to just take a long time.
10 Guardsmen, you're going to be there for a while, and that's not nothing. So there is still a weakness in this chassis. It is not, the all-powerful. But
we'll see.
It is certainly a very welcome addition, and I am glad to welcome him into my house.
I have to leave it.
All right. John, you want to talk about our friend, the Preceptor?
Yeah, let's do it. So
we've seen a nice little glow up.
A little glow up on the Knight Preceptor. So the Knight Preceptor is very much still a Questoris chassis. No surprises there. The only new thing on it is that we haven't yet talked about the fact that it gets a Questoris multi-laser, which is an option. It's still 4 shots, 6-0-1 not sustained. And then it does come with a Las Impulsor. This is going to sound pretty familiar. The high intensity is 24-inch blast, D6 shots, ballistic skill 3, strength 14, AP 3, damage 4. That is the same as current. Low intensity is 36 inches, 2d6 blast, strength 7, AP 1, damage 2. That is model, like weapon-wise, that is identical to current. Now, its rules, however, have changed. It starts with Exemplar of the Code. At the start of the battle, select one unit from your opponent's army to be this model's quarry. Each time this model makes an attack that targets its quarry, reroll the wound roll. Each time this model's quarry is destroyed, you can select a new unit from your opponent's army to be its quarry. And this is something that we've seen across a few new data sheets. What you normally do is you start the battle by picking a quarry of the cheapest, stupidest unit your opponent has deployed near you. And you just kill it without using this guy. And then you say, and now I'm going to pick the real target.
Yep. Because it could be that another knight, I don't know, maybe, could he have a bondsman help him out, maybe, John?
He could have a bondsman help him out. So the bondsman ability here is Mentor, not Preceptor's Duty. They really changed the name on this one. Each time a model affected by this ability makes an attack that targets the quarry, you can reroll the wound roll.
So he can just hand out full wound rerolls against a specific target.
Yes.
And it is as soon as the quarry is destroyed, you can pick a new one.
Yes. So middle of the shooting phase.
So the bondsman could destroy one, allowing the preceptor to choose another that he will then shoot at, benefiting from full wound rerolls.
All correct.
I don't hate full wound rerolls, John.
It's a good ability.
Not something we've really had a lot of access to. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it is shooting and combat. It is every time we make an attack.
It is shooting and combat. I'll note that the Las Impulsor is not sustained the way that we might have seen it on like a natural ghost in the past, but still solid. Now, the next friend to talk about is Canis Rex.
The man, the myth, the legend.
The Chainbreaker himself. He is the same profile as what you'd expect, except that he's leadership 6.
Not 5 anymore.
Not 5, 6, but he is a Questoris.
That breaks my heart because he's supposed to be indomitable. He is the Chainbreaker.
He is the Chainbreaker. His Las Impulsor is the same as it currently is, where it is sustained 1 and a ballistic skill 2. But it is the same strength, range, AP, damage as what I just talked about. So it is the good profile is 24-inch blast, D6 shots, sustained 1, a ballistic skill 2, strength 14, AP 3, damage 4. His multi-laser is a sustained hit multi-laser. Freedom's Hand is still pretty solid. The sweep is 10 attacks of sustained 1, weapon skill 2, strength 10, AP 2, damage 3. His strike is 5 attacks, weapon skill 2, sustained 1, strength 20, AP 3, damage 9. He does still backhand you with Freedom's Hand.
Yep.
His rule, however,
his data sheet has changed.
So he is legendary free blade. Once per turn, he still gets a stratagem for 0 CP.
Love that.
Realistically for 1. He is, to my understanding, he is now the only once per turn in the game.
Oh.
Because all of the other ones are back.
Thanks, GW.
They gave you
something. Glad to see
there.
Canis hanging around.
That part's nice. However, Chainbreaker has changed significantly. You're used to it being critical hits of 5s are critical hits. So sustained 5s, that is gone. He is now sustained on 6s like everyone else in the game. And honestly, we are all, except Brian, better off with it. Chainbreaker is now once per battle at the start of any phase. You can select one friendly Imperium unit within 12 inches of this model, and it is no longer battle shocked. That is still cool.
I don't hate that ability. I hate that ability taking the place of crit 5s.
It's not the same.
No, not quite the same. And he is the same points cost.
He is the same point.
Still coming in at 415. So he is 10 points less than the defender.
Yeah. He is definitely not the knight that he once was. I still don't think he's bad, but I just...
So
he's not the same.
You go, I don't know, how crit 5s is he the same? But keeping the discounted strat per turn when we get into some of these detachments
is actually important.
You are going to see that Canis shines and really can open up some, frankly, incredible plays.
You get some real...
And in even one detachment, you can make him the Canis of old and improve him beyond that.
That is true. He is not without value, even if he's not the same plug and play.
Hector still gets out upon destruction.
Still a 3-wound guy with a 4-up save.
So still an and the unit does not count as destroyed until Hector. So he remains that interesting breaker of
so
secondaries.
Just in case you haven't seen this before, the way it works is if your Canis Rex, the knight, model is destroyed, this model's treated as then Sir Hector is a model disembarking from destroyed transport and performs an emergency disembarkation. Sir Hector cannot be selected as the target of any of your stratagems other than core stratagems. And your Canis Rex unit is not considered to be destroyed until Sir Hector is also destroyed. So any rule that says kill a unit does not work until Hector is killed. Anything that says kill a model, like assassinate, does count.
Yes.
Even if Sir Hector is still alive.
Correct.
Now, the only thing left for us are the Armigers.
Yep. And we have our Helverin and our Warglaive. And then we will touch on all of our Imperial armor friends as well.
A little bit, yeah.
But the Helverin, largely the same. Movement 12, T9, 14 wounds, OC6,
Yep.
lead 7.
So the Armigers don't take the OC hit that the larger knights seem to be taking.
Yes. However, where we see a change for them is in their datasheet ability. And it's a bit of a bummer because Anti-Fly 2 is quite good on a Helverin. Quite good.
No more. I'm done with that.
Instead, though, we now have suppression protocols. And so in your shooting phase, after this model has shot, select one enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, so you can't do this to other knights.
Yep.
Hit by one or more of these attacks made with an Armiger autocannon. Until the start of your next turn, that enemy unit is suppressed. While a unit is suppressed, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Important, an attack, not a ranged attack. So it is shooting and combat. And while I love Anti-Fly 2, this is like one of the few controllable defensive,
Yeah.
it's not drawbacks that we have.
It's still not a bad rule,
No, not a bad
but
rule.
it's not as good as it was, I think.
No. I wish maybe it just didn't work on Titanic units, since it is like the whole, it's supposed to be shooting vehicles, right? But still very exciting data sheet. It's 140 points, the same as the Warglaive. So you really are choosing just what you want out of the Armiger, not one is cheaper than the other anymore.
Yes.
The Moirax does come in at 150, still 10 points more.
Still sadness and ignored.
Yeah. Our friend the Warglaive, similar, same stat line as the Helverin, however, similarly has seen a datasheet ability change.
Yep.
So it's still titled Impetuous Glory, but instead of giving sustained hits on the charge, which is what it had currently done, each time this model makes a charge move, until the end of the turn, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of this model's Reaper Chain Cleaver strike profile, and add 2 to the attacks characteristic of this model's Reaper Chain Cleaver sweep profile. So you're just getting the sustains. And if you can find a way, say, John, wasn't there a bondsman ability that just handed sustained to it?
Warden's not bad there.
Now, suddenly you're swinging 10 times on the sweep, which, John, I don't hate. That is, it's still strength 8, AP2, 1 damage. But now you have 5 big swings at strength 10, AP3, 3 damage. And if you can put sustain on there as well, that actually to me feels like a bit better of a datasheet ability, because sometimes you just can't roll 6s, and this just bakes in 2 for you on the sweep and 1 on the big.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
The +1 attack to me is of a very side grade to the sustained. You get an extra expected value 0.66 hits instead of an expected value of 0.75. It's like the same.
Unless there was easy ways to give it sustained, maybe via detachment,
and give it
bondsman,
it then becomes better.
then it's a straight upgrade.
Yes. But otherwise,
It's a 25% increase. So those are 2 standard Armigers. The Moirax, we have seen the same stat line. Its weapon profiles are unchanged. I just think you're still not finding a great reason to bring it versus these other 2. However, John, I do think that most every Cerestus Knight has a place. The Acheron can stay at home. I think we can both agree.
He's terrible.
But the Atropos, even though we've seen the increased Cerest costs, the Atropos remains same data sheet, 12-inch move.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if they're going to update the Imperial Armor Index a second time. My guess is no, but at the moment, we don't.
Yeah, at the moment there is not.
We have no reason to believe that they are.
Yeah.
So
We just OC10 stays there. So you are definitely incentivized to look at bringing some Cerestus Knights, and
they're all the same cost.
All the same costs. So you are looking at $395 for the Acheron, you'll never bring. $395 for the Castigator, $395 for the Lancer. and then 405 for our friend the Atropos.
Just fair.
And then the Magera and the Styrex come in at 385.
They're just awful. But yeah.
They have an invulnerable combat. Which we will say. So out of these Imperial Armor Knights, you have the Atropos, the Lancer, the Magera, and the Styrex all have access to an invulnerable in combat. 5 up invuln, except for the Lancer, which is a 4 up natively. There is no way in this book to give any other Imperial Knight an invulnerable save in combat.
That is true.
It is our Achilles heel when you are thinking about list building, unless you bring a data sheet that has that invuln baked in. And so I do think the Styrex and the Magera's primary weapon is just, but the Styrex, you can kind of convince me.
It's like almost there.
Yeah, it's almost there.
Let's see if they're going to
a little bit lower points, maybe.
Yeah. And that one detachments that help it out.
Yeah. And there was, so I think, especially when we get into these detachments, the Lancer and the Atropos are still quite good. And now I think instead of fitting into an Imperial Knights army based on the strength of just the data sheet, I think there's so much involvement from the detachment abilities, the stratagems that really play off of some of the strengths the Restless Knights bring, as far as the slightly increased movement already, the invulnerable in combat. I'm really, really excited. And what I would say after going through kind of the data sheets is that, John, I think we're going to see a much more wide open list construction, with almost every chassis finding a way in at one point or another, because of how advantageous all of the stratagems and the detachments can be for just turning certain knights' weaknesses into strengths, or turning their strengths up to 11.
Let's rip off the man and talk about the detachments, right?
Yeah, let's get in there. Let's get in there. So, gone is Noble Lance. I will say that first and foremost. Our index detachment does not find a reprinted version within our codex. So there is no more Imperial Knights army-wide Feel No Pain.
Just gone.
That is gone.
Yeah.
And I think we can both agree, after the toughness and wounds changed, that's for the better. Instead of just feeling stronger, we now actually have a trade-off because we don't have access to an army-wide Feel No Pain.
I think Valourstrike Lance is the closest to the index.
It's our all-rounder.
But it's not the index. So I'll start off with Valourstrike Lance. This one is pretty good. The army roll for Valourstrike Lance is Bold Gallantry, which is that each time an Imperial Knight unit from your army advances, you can reroll the advance roll. And each time you advance, until the end of the turn, ranged weapons gain assault.
Okay, now you've got my attention, John.
That is very good.
So my Crusader can move 10 plus D6. Canis can move 10 plus D6 and still shoot.
And the Errant doesn't have a bondsman ability here.
Yeah, the Errant
reroll advances or something.
It could, but I believe you get that reroll advance rolls intrinsically in the detachment, right? So the Errant...
It is not the Errant.
So the detachment ability is the Errant bondsman ability for your entire army.
Including the big knights, which is where it matters a lot more.
Yes. Suddenly a Valiant and a Castellan with built-in assault.
Yeah.
Okay.
It also helps out those Armigers who are now, 18-inch range on their meltas. That felt is actually really helpful. And I do think we forgot to mention it. Those Armigers are not battle line by default.
They are not.
As we saw in Chaos Knights, it has carried over here.
There is no battle line tag.
So 4 enhancements here, and they all kind of share a theme of the knight model that carries the enhancement picks a nearby knight, not itself. That's going to be the theme. So, end of your movement phase, pick an Imperial Knight within 12, not yourself, visible to the bear. The selected model regains up to D3 lost wounds, or up to 3 lost wounds if your army is honored. And again, that's the bearer of the Iron Chalice, which is going to be a 20 points enhancement.
So there's our first kind of indication of how honored plays into things, making it a flat 3 instead of D3.
It's solid.
Yeah. Solid. 20 points. Yeah, when you've got those 20 points left over in the list, 3 wounds back. Okay.
Next is Bearer of the Evanescent Ion. At the end of your movement phase, select an Imperial Knight within 12 visible, and that Imperial Knight gains the stealth ability until your next movement phase.
Okay.
So you could put stealth on the defender that is protecting all of your boys.
That certainly helps.
Certainly helps, right?
Certainly helps.
Cool. After that is Bearer of the Judicant's Helm. At the start of your shooting phase, select an Imperial Knight within 12, and it gets ignores cover.
There's something we love.
Yeah.
Ignores cover has always been something we needed access to. It's why we've seen so many sisters emulators within coming from Imperial agents. Love that. And it's, again, you've got to think about how you place the enhancements though, because it's not the bearer cannot benefit from that. No. It gives it to someone else.
My immediate thought is you take one Crusader, one Defender. The Defender takes Judicant's Helm, gives ignore cover to a Crusader. The Crusader takes Evanescent Ion and gives stealth to the Defender.
That's a pretty mean tag team there.
Whoop! And they both get 4-up invulns. They're both going to have cover. They're both shooting at long range, but they're fast enough to cut angles. Hard to pre-measure.
Assault built in.
Their assault and reroll advances built in. If you really look at the matchup and decide you want it, you could be +2 move, +1 advance, and say
+1 charge.
Yeah, and +1 charge. But although the Crusader doesn't need that.
No.
And just say, yeah, the Crusader and the Defender are going 13 plus rerollable d6 to start. That's good.
Yes.
The final enhancement is
now these have the rider. I just wanted to clarify. They have the rider visible too, right?
yes. So you have to pick a visible knight within 12, but like visible is so easy because you just like tap a terrain feature and you just see through it. So that's so trivial. You could pick an Armiger for all of these. Obviously, only a knight is carrying the enhancement, but you're looking just if the defender dies and you want to give stealth to an Armiger, you could. Or top of one, you're like, I'm not actually using my Defender right now. I'll just give stealth to an Armiger that's poking the center just to see what happens. You could do things like that.
Yeah.
The final one is Bearer of the Lancer's Sigil. And at the start of your charge phase, select the Imperial Knight with 12 invisible, and it can reroll charges. It's cute.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't mind that.
And if you have +1 to the charge from, say, the quality that you could choose at the pre-game, where you've got that +2 movement as well. Okay.
Evanescent Ion Stealth was 15 points.
Okay.
And then Judicant's Helm ignores cover is 25 points.
Ooh, okay.
Hurts, but like ignores cover is pretty good.
It is.
Yes, I'm mad about it. And then Lancer's Sigil is 25 points. And to me, Lancer's Sigil is very cleanly the one that I care about the least.
Yeah.
I don't think I need Iron Chalice, but I'm not mad if I can fit it. But Evanescent Ion and Judicant's Helm are the two that I want.
They're the tag team. Put me in, coach.
So I'll go through the stratagems here now. We've got some interesting ones here.
This is a great toolbox. It's attachment.
Yeah. And then we've got some interesting rules for the targeting here that I'm going to cover now in detail. And then I'll just kind of say, and it's the same.
Yeah.
So the first one is run them through. One command point. Fight phase. Target up to 3 Imperial Knight models from your army that charged this turn, that have not been selected to fight this phase, and that are each within 9 inches horizontally of the same point on the battlefield. So basically, if you can draw an 18-inch circle, 18-inch diameter, 9-inch radius, 18-inch diameter circle, you can pick 3 Imperial Knight models in there. There's no limits, like some have to be Armigers or some have to be characters. 3 Imperial Knight models.
Up to 3.
Up to 3.
So you could choose.
You could do 2 or even 1 if you just needed it. And until the end of the phase, melee weapons equipped by models have a lance.
Ooh.
If you have multiple knights connecting combat, you just want to say, yeah, they're all +1 to wound. That is actually pretty good.
Using the
even 3 Armiger, 3 like Warglaives just going and saying, yeah, 3 Warglaives get lance, 1 CP. Oh no, that's pretty good.
Now they're wounding Questoris on 4s? It's not okay.
Or just it's just pretty solid. So I'm gonna kind of.
But that targeting kind of motif of picking a point within the battlefield and the knights needing to be within 9 inches is a theme in this detachment.
It's gonna happen multiple times. So next is 1 CP Thunderstomp. This is just 1 Imperial Knight. And until the end of the phase, the attack characteristic of any armored feet melee weapons equipped by your model is 8, and the attack characteristic of any titanic feet melee weapons is 12, and you improve the AP of those weapons by 1. So I think armored feet is the Helverin's.
Armigers, yeah.
And then I think just the Helverin, actually. The Warglaive doesn't have armored feet.
The Moirax does, though, I think.
Oh, right, the Moirax.
It exists!
I forget he exists because I'm never going to use him, whatever. But this is 1 CP, turn your Defender, Crusader, or Dominus into from 4 attacks to 12 attacks plus 1 AP.
AP2, 2 damage. Suddenly, you can fight your way out of a 5-man scout squad.
Yeah, that is the point where you on average kill a 5-man scout squad, whereas before you on average killed like 2.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, that is a noticeable upgrade. That is a good. And honestly, if you that's also the point where you can charge with one of these things and not feel that bad about it if you decide you're in the mood for it.
No,
because you can even give it Lance.
You could give it Lance.
I mean, if you're picking 3 knights to get Lance, you can pick this as one of it. Just Thunderstomp with a defender that is like
and if
late
it's
game.
OC8, I suddenly actually, though, feel much more comfortable thinking I could remove enough OC in combat to flip an objective.
Yeah, well, certainly, yeah. So very strong. 2 CP for the next one.
Oh,
And we're getting into the good ones. Full tilt. This is actually not about the knights. This is about your opponent. It's happening.
Yep.
So in your movement phase, you target up to 3 Imperial Knights that have not blah, 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 within 9 horizontal at the same point. Cool.
Haven't they moved within 9 inches of
Movement phase haven't moved. Pick 3 knights. Until the end of the phase, add 2 to the move characteristic of your models and add 2 to the advance rolls made for those models' units. There's so much to unpack here. 1, remember when we said Canis was going to make some strats a lot better?
If you target Canis as one of those 3 knights, that stratagem now costs 1 CP, which means if you're top of turn, top of round 1, this strat is suddenly available to you.
Canis, Defender, Crusader. If that's your 3, you can top of 1 say they're all going just yard. So let's just break down the speed. If we take Lalo the Tyrant, we take the offensive one, the Defender is now going 14 plus rerollable D6, top of 1.
With Assault.
With Assault. If we did this the other way and we said, actually, I will reclaim the realm. You know what? I don't need that reroll anyways. Your Defender is going 17 plus rerollable D6?
Yep, plus 4 to the movement, plus 3 to the advance roll.
I mean...
Now, see, you went Canis, Defender, Crusader.
There are multiple options.
John, what if I put a Lancer, Canis, and an Atropos and took Reclaim the Realm? So Lancer, 14-inch base move. So
16, 18?
16, 18.
I mean, in Search and Destroy, I don't know what I'm doing about that.
I'm in your, congratulations, my base movement is in your deployment zone. I don't even need the advance.
Yeah. Pretty good.
That's very fast. But even the Atropos, when you look, because it has the guns, if you don't want to charge with it.
Yeah.
12-inch base, so now 16 plus, so 19 plus D6.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's insane.
Is that math right?
Yeah, 19 plus D6.
Your Atropos turn 1, 19 plus D6 inches, and it can shoot.
It's going from Search and Destroy to touching the other table edge.
Congratulations, there is no terrain piece you can hide behind.
You cannot hide from this. You have to tank it and fight back. Like, you cannot hide from this.
And this is, so this strategy,
not hide
this is a huge reason for why you would take this detachment for me. And this is also where Canis is almost not included in this list to get to access that multiple times for only 1 CP.
I mean, that's so many saved CP, and that's really important.
And imagine, like, if this toolbox had some other way of giving me movement shenanigans, John.
Imagine. So Vow of Retribution is 1 CP. This is the next stratagem. And this is another targets 3 knights. You get lethal hits. Good.
Shooting or fight, or just shooting?
Sorry, shooting phase. I apologize.
Okay.
Shooting phase lethal hits. But hey, Defender, Crusader, Canis, just add some lethal hits to it. It's great. Again, any of these could go on an Armiger if the situation told you to. A Helverin with lethal hits might be beneficial.
Yeah.
Or a Warglaive that is perhaps bonded by a Lancer to advance and charge can top of 1 go on 12, 14, 16, 17, 19, advance, reroll the advance. Let's call that 4, 23 in charge.
And it could go 23 and shoot its Melta with lethal.
Yeah, and shoot. Whew! 23, like, roll a 4 up on the advance with the reroll. I don't know, that's not that crazy, 75% of the time, right? Okay, 23 shoot and charge, top of 1.
That feels fast.
That's very fast. That is difficult to pre-measure. Tell you what, when you're going that fast, there's also a point where pre-measuring is fake because the Armiger can decide to just trade 8 inches for going over a wall.
You cannot. When you get into deployment against this detachment, there is no more how far away. It's that variance is so high because when you're deploying, remember, you have not picked your quality yet.
No, you picked.
You picked your quality. So you picked
your quality.
You know you've got plus one. It would be picking the target. My mistake.
But still, it is too fast.
Yeah.
1 CP tactical foil. This is your opponent's. This one's good. Your opponent's movement phase after an enemy unit ends a normal, advance, or fallback move. Pick an Imperial Knight model within 9 inches of that unit. Make a normal move of up to D6 inches.
Oh, John, what if I had Phantasm and Imperial Knights?
It's not Phantasm. It's just a reactive move.
It's a reactive move.
It's not Phantasm. Phantasm was broken. You have to get within 9. Still, if they get very close to you, that is spooky. And a reactive move on the knight, the potential of, oops, I failed my charge because you moved backwards too far, is backbreaking. Because with knights, anytime you swing on knights and miss, it is backbreaking.
Because we will eliminate that threat following. Now,
And what you can very well do is you can put a knight on a terrain feature by less than an inch. Shoot. And if something moves near you, you move at least an inch and you back off the terrain feature.
and you are no longer eligible. You are no longer eligible to be shot. And for combined arms armies that require multi phases to kill knights, which means they're going to have to move something within charge range, this stratagem could be backbreaking.
This is
And
good.
again, it's 1 CP. Canis can do that for free
That is true.
in your opponent's turn.
The final stratagem for this detachment is rotate ion shields. It's what you think it is. 1 CP shooting phase. When they shoot a knight, it has a far pinball. Cool. Good
This is the only detachment with access to
It's
it.
the only detachment with rotate. But this is the first detachment of 4. I actually don't think this is the best one.
Neither do I.
We
I think
disagree
it's
on what the best one
yeah.
is.
I think it's the best all-arounder.
I think we both have this as the third best detachment.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, I like this more than your first choice. I'm sorry.
I know you do. I know.
But this is a very good detachment. It is incredibly fast. It's going to really promote the ability to stat check someone early that they cannot get away from. If you struggle with elves that fire and fade and say, you can't hit me back because I pre-measured everything you can do. Stop. You cannot pre-measure this detachment.
And it opens up for knight players. It allows our game to embrace a lot more tactical depth in having these movement stratagems, in having a reactive move. It's a toolbox that hasn't existed to where knight players kind of had just...
It lets you embrace tactical depth. It lets knight players deploy on the line and move 23 inches into my deployment zone.
Fair.
You can embrace tactical depth, or you can deploy on the line and go 23 inches into my deployment zone, Brian.
I will... I'm excited for a Lancer. I'm excited for... But, important, this detachment gives no access to advance and charge.
No, it does let you move your Lancer 19 inches? 17? What did we say? 18? 14 plus 2 plus 2, 18.
18.
Okay, you're right. It doesn't advance in charge.
It just auto advances 4.
It just moves 18.
But
No strats required, to be clear. Like to then charge. If you get Valourstrike, you still get to go.
it's a good detachment.
Good detachment.
Let's see. My favorite comes up next. Is that right?
It does.
All right.
I tried to sequence this that you would get your favorites.
You're the best, John. So next we have what I find to be, and again, I'm not sure it's the best. I think it's going to be the most fun to play in some ways. But it is, I don't know if I can mental load for like a 6 or 8 round tournament for this one.
Give it to us.
We're going to play Gate Warden Lance. And so our detachment rule here is Dauntless Defenders. And that detachment rule is at the start of the first battle round, you're going to select 2 objective markers on the battlefield to be your foundation. When you draw a line from any part of one of those foundations, so think the 40 mil objective marker, any part of that 40 mil objective marker to any part of the other 40 mil objective marker. If any part of a model's base or any part of a model's hull for models without bases crosses that line, that model is said to be on the defensive line. Our big knight bases are roughly 6.5 inches long and 4.5 inches wide.
I mean, and so that line is going to end up being 40 millimeters thick.
41 millimeters. Yeah.
So
And angle, like...
So if you're playing like a search and destroy, you can choose to either pick like your home field and one of no man's land, or you can pick your home field and their home field and get a long line. You'll never pick the center one.
Or
ever.
2 home field. Or 2 no man's land.
No man's land. You pick your opponent's expansion, their expansion, you get a very long 40 millimeter line across the no man's land. And if you're on that, you're on the line.
Now,
On the line matters for everything in this attachment.
why do I want to be on the line? Well, an Imperial Knight army, while an Imperial Knight unit from your army is on the defensive line, it gains the following ability. Against the Horde, Each time this model makes an attack that targets a visible enemy unit, which is every weapon we have except for the Iron Storm, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the hit roll. Woohoo! And weapons equipped by models in that unit have the sustained hits 1 ability.
So everything you have gains sustained hits, ignore hit mods while you're on the line.
Shooting and combat.
You do have to get there.
You do have to get there.
Oh, when you get there.
So, John, what about when we play Hidden Supplies and there are 4 middle objectives all actually in one nice line that I could just say all no man's land revolves around my line?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's just going to happen, right?
Yeah. And so I do love this future proofing and thought of how the mission packs can work, which is there's a rider at the end for each time one of your foundations is removed from the battlefield. So the objective you chose, if it's removed from the battlefield by a primary mission rule, like burning it on Scorched Earth, just after it's removed, you get to select a new objective mark on the battlefield to be one of your foundations. So your opponent can't just burn something on Scorched Earth and say, haha, you have no line anymore. Yeah, they thought that through. Now, we've got 4 enhancements here. John, I'll need you to hit me with the costs as I go through them.
Got you.
I believe the first one, Inquisitor at Arms, is 20 points? 15 points.
Yep.
It's an Imperial Knights model only. While the bearer is on the defensive line and there are no enemy units on your defensive line, add the bearer's objective control characteristic to that of each model affected by the bearer's bondsman ability.
Cool.
So what that means is that if I have, Preceptor or something like that on the line, they're going to add 8 OC or 10 OC, we'll see, depending on the knight, to an Armiger in my command phase before we determine scoring.
Yes, and then you can carry that forward when that Armiger runs over to your opponent's and tries to contest them. Now, your opponent can shut this down by just being on the line. But it is possible that there will be consequences later for being on the line.
Yeah, so I might welcome that.
This will be a weighed decision for the opponent on, is this actually what you want? Let's read the whole detachment before we decide that.
So our next enhancement, Purgation's Hand, Imperial Knights model only. Each time the bearer makes a melee attack, if the bearer is on the defensive line, reroll hit rolls a 1 and reroll wound rolls a 1.
So just if the bearer is on the line, reroll 1s to hit wound. There's nothing about your opponent not being on the line.
Nope.
Just get on the line, reroll 1s to hit wound.
I'm here to take you off.
Shooting combat?
Only fighting.
Only fighting.
Each time it makes a melee attack.
Okay.
Still.
That is...
What's the points cost for that one?
Which one's the...
Even though Purgation's Hand for only... Even though it's only
20. I mean, a Gallant with Purgation's Hand still slaps.
A Lancer.
Whoever it is, it's going to hurt.
Yeah. Our third enhancement, Augury Halo, Imperial Knights model only. Each time the bearer makes a ranged attack while the bearer is on the defensive line, no rider about your opponent being on it, weapons equipped by the bearer have Ignores Cover ability.
Oh, man.
We love Ignores Cover.
So this is the second detachment in a row that gives an Ignores Cover enhancement.
Second detachment in a row with an Ignores Cover.
God.
That's
20 points.
20 points. So if I gave that to a Paladin and he shoots the closest eligible target, he is now AP2 on his rapid fire battle cannon. Ignores cover.
I would still put that on like a defender.
Oh, there are plenty of other things I put it on.
Or a Crusader, but like a Paladin doesn't mind getting on the line.
No, he does not, because he's ready to fight.
He's ready to fight.
Our last enhancement, Vengeful Tread. Imperial Knights model only. Once per turn, you can target the bearer with the tank shock stratagem for 0 CP.
That's nice.
Yeah. Just free tank shot.
Does that have a even if you already have?
It doesn't, which I truly wish it did, but then it could get really silly.
That would get
like you could be looking at 3 tank shocks a turn.
You don't need that
for 0 CP.
Yeah, and that's a 15-point enhancement.
Yeah, so
not bad.
No,
and this one does not involve the line.
Does not involve the line at all. It just that knight can always tank shock.
Okay. Well,
so enhancements all intriguing.
Yeah.
Now
hit me with these stratagems.
Stratagems. Now, these are going to have some interesting riders. Be thinking about that line, because how you interact with it is really important.
Yeah.
So our first stratagem, an important note, every stratagem in this attachment is 1 CP. So Canis could make every one of these strats free. Interesting.
Noted.
First stratagem, drive them out. Your shooting phase or fight phase, and 1 Imperial Knight from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight. Until the end of that phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets an enemy unit on my defensive line, An unmodified hit roll of 5 scores a critical hit. That sounds really familiar. That's Canis's old rule.
God.
So if you come to take, I don't know, a middle of no man's land objective,
It's possible to be on the objectives and not be on the line. The line is only 40 millimeters thick. But if you are constantly trying to avoid touching the line because the second you touch the line, you get evaporated, at some point you're going to accidentally be like, oh, well, if I want to pile in.
Or if I want to have enough OC to out OC a knight.
Yeah. And at that point, I think you're just accepting if I'm taking this objective off the knight player, it's because I'm getting blasted the next turn, which you probably were anyways. But now it is really not in doubt. And putting a big thing on the line, when it accidentally happens, where like in order for you to charge your knight with Angron, you have to cross the line because you're just like,
oh yeah,
you're like on the line, but on the back half.
That line,
you have to. It's 40 millimeters thick. You touch the line. There's 39 millimeters of line in front of you. If you want to get within an inch of that, you're on the line.
Yep.
Like you don't get around this anymore.
And you're like, oh well, crit 5s. Why is that? The entire army has sustained hits while on the line. So crit 5s is quite helpful.
It's going to add up very quickly.
Yes. And it plays nicely with another one of these. Our second stratagem, also 1 CP, is the fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Oh man, we actually get a defensive strat. This is exciting. You can choose one Imperial Knight from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks and is on your offensive line. So you have to be on the line, but until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets a unit, if the strength characteristic is greater than the toughness, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Woo! -1 to wound.
Fight phase only?
Fight phase only.
That is good.
Better.
That's not actually going to come up that often, but when it does, it is going to feel very impactful. When the Bloodthirster's wounding you on 4s, you're just kind of like, you have a lot of wounds. Like, you're really just not getting...
When Angron shows up?
Yeah.
Anything with low quantity, high quality, oh boy.
That's going to get really dicey.
Yeah.
So, good strat.
Love seeing a defensive option for us. Our next stratagem, Steadfast Superiority, also 1 CP, also the fight phase. One Imperial Knights unit from your army that is within engagement range of one or more enemy units. That knight is on your defensive line, and it has not been selected to fight.
So on the defensive line, in engagement range, hasn't fought.
Correct. The enemy unit does not have to be on the line.
Okay.
So this is if you want to play games, if I'm on the line and you aren't, that's okay. I still have an option. Until the end of that phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll.
So this 1 CP reroll hits in combat if you're on the line, and you are, by definition, getting sustained hits.
So if I'm on the line with Canis and you charge me and touch the line, I can free strat to give him crit 5s, and then for an additional CP, I can give him full rerolls to hit.
Well, he's already sustained.
Hitting on 2s.
That is good.
It's quite good.
That's going to kill a lot of things.
I love this. Like we feel powerful holding what we want to hold.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been a long time since Imperial Knights felt powerful.
Okay.
Enjoy it, buddy.
No comment.
Don't worry, buddy. You get this.
All right. Fourth stratagem we've got. Also 1 CP. Marshal the Defense. This one's going to sound slightly familiar. It's in my movement phase. I can choose 2 Imperial Knights that have not moved. No range restriction. They do not have to be within a certain range of each other. No point on the table. Until the end of the phase, add 3 inches to the move characteristic of models in that unit.
Boy. So
top of 1, Canis and, I don't know, a Lancer? Let's say a Lancer. Sure, why not? For no CP, are going to, and I don't know, I'll take Reclaim the Realm. Because why not? So my Lancer is now going to move 14 plus 3 plus 2. So 19 inch base move.
Okay.
You were worried about the 18.
19 is better.
What if I do 19?
19 is better.
That's pretty good.
19
plus 3 inches of movement is so huge for us. And and again, this one also, you could start to talk to me about a Dominus Knight.
Yeah.
11 inch move.
That's a lot faster. Having the movement on demand as a guard player is massive because this stratagem is one you don't actually have to use that often, but you will sometimes. But it's such a thing against, let's say a well-informed opponent who is always conscious of you can move this knight 10 and do X, and being able to say 13.
On demand, I
Go ahead
need
and
13.
pre-measure 13. Pre-measure 13. Attributes, pre-measure 15. It's like, oh, God. And then you've noticed this if you played against Infernal Lands because it could be anywhere. You have to pre-measure it everywhere. And then the Chaos Knight player is like, oh, well, you pre-measure 15, so now it doesn't matter. I'll just move 12. It's like very strong.
Very strong stratagem. Only 1 CP. 2 knights versus we saw 3 in Valourstrike, but 3 inches of movement, not 2.
Yeah, but only 1 CP.
Only 1 CP.
That's good.
And it could be free stratagemed.
Could be
Love
Stratagem by Canis. Yeah.
Yep. Our 5th stratagem, also 1 CP. Titanic Bombardment, your shooting phase. 1 Imperial Knights Titanic unit, so this one not on Armigers, that remains stationary in this turn, that is on the defensive line, and then has not shot yet.
So that's actually a decent amount of hoop. Titanic
has been on the line and
hasn't.
It had to have gotten to the line the turn before.
Yeah.
And you're hanging out there. However, now until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by that model have sustained hits 2, not sustained hits 1. So,
okay, you get to the point where that's.
And for another CP, you could go crit 5s. Stuff 2.
You have to shoot something on the line to get crit 5s?
The target enemy unit has to be on the defensive line, yes. But Defender, Crusader.
I mean,
it's a lot of
I don't actually think the Defender needs it because it's already sustained D3.
Yeah, but you get it on the plasma as well.
The Crusader is where it's like,
yep, Avenger Gatling with +2,
crit 5. Maybe crit 5s is gonna go crazy.
Yeah. But again,
get a Paladin.
I just want to stress again, all of this revolves around the line. If your opponent is forcing you away, or secondaries are forcing you away from it, this detachment
drops.
You just can't push buttons.
Yeah.
So I love this because I think it's going to be some really interesting gameplay. It is going to be a lot mental load wise because there are hoops you've got to jump through, and you've got to constantly be thinking ahead about how you're going to leverage the defensive line.
Yep.
Our last stratagem, Fortress of Intimidation. It's the start of your opponent's charge phase.
Okay.
And it's 1 Imperial Knights Titanic unit from your army that is on your defensive line. So I know you're about to charge me.
Yep.
And I'm on my line. Until the end of the phase, each time the enemy unit selects my unit as a target of the charge, they have to take a Battleshock test subtracting 1.
From the Battleshock test. Okay.
So
just blare the trumpets when they're about to
blare the trumpets, but then you're reducing OC, you're taking away any stratagem support in the fight phase, which so many armies need when they want to.
-1 helps out a lot, honestly.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
I like that one. So 2 defensive, 1's pretty situational, but 4 absolutely bonkers offensive strats. Yeah. All with hoops to jump through.
Yeah, the line, this is when we really have to see this on the table.
Yep.
I am very unsure how easy or hard it is going to be to navigate around the line. I know that if I'm fighting the knights on the line, these rules are crazy. I don't have a good, just because it's such a unique mechanic, I don't have a good idea.
Different matchups, because you, as knight players know, there are games where you actually need to turtle it. Like going to Patao, I don't want to be on my line. Like I might be much more conservative with it because I don't want to go out and get lethal hitted to death in the first 3 turns.
Yeah, if you're just playing against like a guard army where it's like, hey, do you want to step in front of my army? I'm just going to shoot you. And you're like, oh, well, none of my defense works in shooting. I'm just on the line, getting shot.
Yep. Not as good.
So interesting detachment. Very cool design.
I love the design space. And
I'm glad that Games Workshop was willing to get very creative with this detachment. I think it's really cool. I have no idea if this is too good or not good enough or right in the middle. I have genuinely no idea on how this army is going to work, but I am very excited to see you play it and see you find out.
I'm going to throw this detachment at the other AOW members as many times as they will let me, because it's going to have some really fun moments.
Probably several.
And for me, that's why I'm here.
There we go.
So now, next, John, is your top pick for detachments.
So next up is Questoris Companions, which is, this is pretty interesting. It's like almost Free Blades. Not quite.
Yeah, it's getting there.
It's getting there.
It's the closest we get, I think, to a Free Blade line.
I would say so. So the rule for this one is Heroes of Legend. At the start of your turn, if your current oath is fulfilled, determine an additional oath as described on page 74, with the exception that you cannot select a deed or quality you have already selected. If you're randomly selecting, you have to re-roll it if you do that in any phase. If you cannot determine additional oath because you've already selected each deed and quality, then you don't do this. If you complete all 3 deeds and oaths, you're done. It's okay.
Oh, so I could stack my deeds and oaths.
I can get multiple of them, yes. So the qualities from the oath continue to apply to my models, and when the deed for an additional is completed, I only gain 1 CP.
So the first time you still get the 2 or 3 CP if you chose to random, and then each additional time you gain another CP bypassing the cap.
Yes. And in addition to that, since we're just doing cool guy things right now, like I can start by saying I'm gonna lay low the tyrant, I'm gonna reroll hits and stings. All right, it's turn 1, bang bang, I killed 2 units. Okay, from turn 2 on, now my command phase. Hey, let me do some pre-measuring. Yeah, I'm gonna choose +2 move, +1 advance, +1 charge. Oopsies. And then if I'll pick a second deed with that. And once I do that one, I'll pick a third. And the reality is that I don't have to complete my third one because there's no benefit.
You've already got
I'll get a CP, but I won't get a rules.
You've already got all 3 buffs. So you would be looking at, if you accomplish 2, then all of your Imperial Knights models will have 1 hit and wound reroll per activation.
Yeah.
They will have +2 inches of movement, +1 to advance, +1 to charge, and +2 OC, +1 leadership.
Yep. I mean, that's just good.
That just feels like an amazing datasheet upgrade.
It is, and I could also I could choose Laylo the Tyrant, which is the
Laylo the Tyrant are a character. Yep.
Which I could choose that in my command phase when I look at the table and be like, all right, now that I've killed 2 units on turn 1, with my turn 2 command phase, hey, where are your characters at? Oh, you weren't playing with that? I'm gonna choose to kill a character. Dead, immediately complete, back to OC. It's like, ugh.
Now I have all 3. I have all 3 benefits.
It can happen so fast.
Yeah.
So that's good.
We both got excited about that.
Then the second part of the detachment rule is Valor's Reward, which is just that the enhancements shown on the right can become expended. You cannot use an enhancement while they're expended. Each time you fulfill your oath, each expended enhancement is no longer expanded. Okay. So I spend it, and then each time I become honored, I refill everyone.
Similar to Lions of the Emperor, but it just functions. Reloading the enhancements requires.
I reload the enhancement each time I complete an oath.
So, John, what are those enhancements?
Yeah, let's talk about it, right? Herald of Triumph. Imperial Knights model only. When the bearer ends the charge move, use the enhancement. If it does, then each enemy unit within engagement range takes a Valourstrike test -1. So, expand enhancement, charge, say, boop, -1, leaves your Valourstrike test on everything. Cool for shutting off defensive strats and interrupts. Just generically useful.
Flipping a tempting target potentially.
Sure. Whatever needs to happen. Nice. Not like crazy, but it's nice. Next is Wormslayer Divination. In your shooting phase, use the enhancement. And until the end of the phase, when you ever make an attack that targets a unit with fly, reroll hits. Oh. That does not always come up, but when it does...
Just a unit with fly, not excluding vehicles or monsters or...
Unit that can fly.
All right, I see you, Tau, and I'm ready for you.
You're just like, Wormslayer. The Crusader rerolls hits against fly. Bang. Oh, maybe killing something also made you honored, by the way. Recycle.
Next turn, shooting phase.
Next turn. That's pretty good. Pennant of Silvered Fury. When the bearer is selected to fight, use the enhancement, and it's expended. Cool, same as always. Melee weapons gain sustained 2. Oh, that's a lot.
Oh, a Lancer with sus 2.
Oh, yeah, or a Gallant with sus 2.
Or an yeah.
I don't like Lancers as much as you do, man. I'm a Gallant.
Oh, I like a Lancer with sus 2.
That's true. It is.
I like that a lot.
I like 18 attacks with sus 2 on the sweet profile. It's like blend. Sus 2 lethal, maybe? I don't know. And then Crushing Combination is the last one. This is actually my favorite. When the bear is selected to fight after resolving its attacks, if one or more enemy units were destroyed, use the enhancement. Yeah, it's that one. So the enhancement is expended. And then select one enemy unit not within engagement range and within 12 inches and invisible to the bearer. Roll 6 dice for every 4+ the enemy suffers 1 mortal wound. So this is where you kill something in combat, you pick up the thing you just killed, and you throw it at the next guy. And it's a 12-inch grenade after you kill something. And there's no, not an engagement. Select one enemy, not an engagement range of any units. So this is actually tricky. because it's in the
It's
fight
the
phase.
old hurl
It's
wreckage.
fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
You kill the rhino and you pick it up and you yeet it at a character.
Yeah,
Love
screw 'em.
it. Love it.
Funny if it works.
I'm all about, you want to throw a screening unit out in front of me? Great.
Yep. Very good.
And every time I complete an oath, I could do that again the next time.
100%.
And is that your fight phase or a fight phase?
Selected fight.
So if I don't know, used it top of one to help me complete retally, and then you countercharge me bottom of one, I could use it again?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you sure can.
That seems quite good.
It's kind of cool. Although if you countercharge and die, that's kind of your fault, not mine. I have 6 stratagems here. 5 of them are 1 CP.
Okay.
We'll start with Courageous Stand. 1 CP, shooting or fight phase, Imperial Knight Titanic model that is targeted gains a 6 of field of it until the end of the phase.
And I believe all the stratagems in this one target only Titanic units, right? This is
That sounds correct.
this is Lords of Dread-esque in wanting you to bring bigger knights.
Correct, they're all Titanic.
Okay.
So yes.
6 of field to paint on demand.
Pretty cool.
I like it.
Next is Titanic Duel, shooting or fight phase. Pick an Imperial Knight Titanic that has not been selected to shoot or fight. Each time you target a monster, Titanic, or Walker unit. So monster, Titanic, Walker. Add 1 to the hit roll and wound roll.
And I'm sorry, I don't have to pick one. It's just so if I split fire into multiple vehicles, I'm +1 to hit and +1 to wound against them.
Monster, Titanic, Walker. So not a Predator. Yes, a Ballistus. Yes, a Bloodthirster.
Wait, monster vehicle, right?
Monster, Titanic.
Okay. So tanks are going to
Any of those 3. So a normal Predator does not get hit by this. But anything else, shooting or fight phase that's big, +1 to hit and wound.
And it's, what's 1 CP?
1 CP.
So it's upgraded trophy claim.
That admittedly does not work against a normal battle tank. But yes.
But you don't lose the ability to ever use it again.
No, it's 1 CP. And shooting or fight phase.
And hit and wound.
Hit and wound.
Whew.
Yeah, if you see a monster, Titanic, or Walker in front of your defender, this guy's just going to be, it's insane, honestly. You shoot at another knight and you say, cool, hit on 2s, wound on 2s. Bazap. Ugh. That's going to hurt. Next up is Moment of Glory, 1 CP. Fight phase before an Imperial Knight Titanic unit consolidates. Add 3 inches to the range that you can consolidate, provided your unit can end that move within an engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. So this is where we alluded to, this is where you can have a Gallant make a 9-inch consolidate move, which has to reach enemy models, but like, that is a long kill and tag range on a guy that's not that slow.
Now, it says you have to end in range of an enemy unit.
Yes.
But with consolidates, you can consolidate in the direction of an objective, in which case you don't have to go towards the closest enemy unit.
No.
Is it? Okay.
If you can reach an enemy unit, that takes priority.
Got it. Okay. So
this is 9-inch getting an engagement range of an enemy. Now you could also touch an objective while doing so. That's not hard. But you are going into an enemy unit. But still, that's a very long tag.
Hi, it's an extra movement. Or you're trying to screen me off an objective.
Consolidate 9 is a vibe.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to kill the unit in front and consolidate onto.
Yeah, consolidate 9 is a vibe.
When it happens, okay.
It happens. All right, next up is Hero's Tread. 1 CP, end of your command phase. Pick a Titanic model on an objective marker that you control. Your level of control over that objective marker is 5, unless it would otherwise be higher, until your opponent's level of control is greater than yours at the end of phase.
We finally get a sticky objective stratagem.
Sticky objective stratagem with OC 5 until your opponent takes it off of you.
Now, we don't have a detachment rule allowing us to use it for free once a turn.
No. But you got a
great stratagem. And you have a Canis Rex who can just free strat it.
Yeah, it's just...
That's great. Love that. Yeah. Fantastic. And that actually lets you lean into the fewer models going big knights.
100%.
Love it.
Next up is 2 command points, Unstoppable Warrior. An Imperial Knight Titanic that has fallen back. Until the end of the turn, it is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it has fallen back.
Finally, we have gotten access somewhere to fall back, shoot, and charge. Love it.
Yeah, you get I love
2 CP.
2 CP is harsh, but like when you need to do it, you need to do it.
And right now, the only way for us to do it was a challenger card.
Yeah.
That is,
I like this better.
love that. Love it. That is a wonderful, that is something that changes anyone's game plan. Now, if you leave Canis alive on a wound, like you don't kill him in that combat, uh-oh.
That's a big
Uh-oh.
The final stratagem is 1 CP driven by the past. In your charge phase, select 1 Imperial Knight Titanic unit from your army. And that unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced.
The Lancer now has access to advance and charge.
Also the Gallant, but yes, the Lancer too. I mean...
And remember, this is, sorry, I have to take this into the context of the detachment.
Yeah.
This is the detachment where I can easy access to +2-inch movement, +1 to advance, +1 to charge.
Yes.
So I could be moving 16, 17 plus D6.
18 plus D6, then declare or 17 plus D6, then declare a D6, 2D6 plus 1 charge. So you're essentially trying to connect with, this was a Lancer. A Lancer is essentially trying to go 18 plus 3D6.
Love that.
That is fast.
Love that.
That is fast.
And can charge. So we've finally seen it. We do have access to advance and charge on bigs again. And it is 1 CP? 1 CP.
It's 1 CP.
So suddenly Canis feels like really reaching out and touching somebody.
Yeah. So I really like this detachment. For me, the main appeal here is that it gives you a little bit more flex. It gives you the awesome ability to stack up your bonds, get multiple of the bonds, or not the bonds, the oaths, your deeds and your qualities. Really, I want these multiple qualities. You can get a lot of CP in this detachment because you can generate quite a few by doing multiple.
Bypassing the cap, yeah.
Bypassing the cap. So you can get a lot of CP. You have solid enhancements. The enhancements aren't insane. There's just several that are nice. And then the stratagems are pretty good, and you get more CP, and they're flexible. You get a defensive one that works all the time. You get an offensive one that works against the best things that you would want to work against. You get a cool consolidate. That's a nice trick. You get a sticky objective 5. That's a nice trick. You get fallback and shoot and charge. Massive game changer. You get an advance and charge on a Titanic Knight. Again, I am going Gallant with Sustained 2 here, but I respect the Lancer call too. Because you know what? You don't have a rotate here, so that 4 pinball do be worth a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about a Lancer in this detachment. Like, I don't think that this has the raw get in their guts and end the game power of Valourstrike Lance, but this is really good. This is very good for the thinking Knight player. I'm still like willing to bet money with Brian that he's going to end up on this one, but I know he wants to gate Warden first, and I respect it.
I do.
I still think this is going to be Brian's
having access to fallback, shoot and charge, to advance and charge. It's just things we desperately need. And
on New Year's Day, I think you're going to be on this detachment. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
You can play her out until then, but I think you're coming home to this one.
Okay. I think that detachment is going to be incredibly helpful. Like it's going to give you the ability to just get out of situations that we never could normally.
And like with the current points, you can very easily run a list that's 4 big knights, your choice of what big knights, and then you can still fit like 3 Armigers and an agent squad.
Yeah.
Maybe if you take expensive knights, like you take Defenders and Canis and Atropos, at that point, you're probably not getting the agent squad in there.
No.
But you can just sticky 5 an objective and move on with your life. And that's pretty good. Or you could do 5 big knights and an agent squad, no Armigers. Because none of these rules affect the Armigers.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad about that either.
There's no benefit to the Armigers, but this detachment is just, it's going to really frustrate some people.
It's really good.
Because he's going to combat to kill it. They pop the 6-up feel no pain in your turn. You could free strat that with Canis. And then you get into the next turn. Cool. I'm going to fall back, shoot and charge, or...
It's not as fast shooting as the first 2 detachments, but it's faster combat and it falls back and it has just really good tools all around. Plus, the reality is that I still think people are going to have to take the reroll a hit and wound as the best one. And this one getting to take that, but then still go ahead and go grab the movement bonus on turn 2 or 3, I think is going to be just fine.
And this list will be it'll be challenging because this is a list that will get tougher as the game progresses, yes, you will kill units. Like you may whittle down knights out of this list, but every knight that is left is going to be more powerful than it was at the start of the game.
Yeah.
As they gain those qualities and bonds and they can leverage the CP. It's a very, very good detachment.
So there's one left. I'll slide it to you.
This is our...
I say so. It's still
It's a
pretty
good
good.
detachment.
It's still pretty good.
It just, for me, it doesn't strike my
It doesn't
play
play your
style. It
fancy?
does not, but that does not mean it's not good.
That's all right.
So we have Spearhead-At-Arms, and this is our Armiger detachment. This detachment gives Armiger's battle line keyword back.
Good.
So you could take 6 instead of only 3. So that is 18 between your Moiraxes, Helverins, and Warglaives.
Why do you keep saying Moiraxes? I've never heard of this unit in my life.
Moiraxes exist.
None of it out.
And so their detachment rule is Knightly Teachings. And so each time a model from your army uses its bondsman ability, if no other model from your army has used that bondsman ability that turn, you can select up to 3 friendly Armiger models within 12 inches of that model, or within 15 of that model while your army is honored.
Oh boy.
They will all be affected by that bondsman ability until your next command phase.
So even though this is the Armiger detachment, this very much does not want you to go all Armigers.
It's similar to transport detachments in that it requires the both halves.
The transport and the infantry, yeah.
In this one, the Questoris and the Armiger.
So like,
But that right there is a defender handing out 3 -1 damages.
so if you take 1 defender, 3 Armigers get -1 damage. If you take 2 defenders, 4 Armigers get -1 damage. Not 6, 4. So
Because the first one gets handed out 3 times, and then the next one hands it out.
This is definitely sounding like it's going to be take 2 or 3 bigs and then a lot of Warglaives and Helverins.
100%. The enhancements, these are interesting. So Mentor's Pride is our first one. While 2 or more Armiger models are under the effect of the Bear's bondsman ability, so the knight that uses that specific bondsman ability first, then each time one of those Armigers makes an attack, you can reroll hit rolls of 1. So whatever bondsman ability you're handing out just gets hit rerolls of 1 as well.
I mean, a Crusader that gives +1 to hit reroll 1s to 3 Helverins, or even either a Castigator or a Warden.
Warden that gives sus hover, ignore cover.
Get some good output on that.
Yep, reroll 1s. Fables of Nightmare is our next one. You're going to notice the theme. While 2 or more Armiger models are under the effect of the Bear's bondsman ability, melee weapons equipped by those Armiger models have the precision ability.
I don't really care. I'm sorry. I just don't care.
Yep. Tales of Heroism, Imperial Knights model. While 2 or more Armiger models are under the effects of the Bear's bondsman ability, each time one of those Armiger models makes a melee attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the hit or wound roll.
Hit or wound is interesting. Or wound adds a lot.
You have my attention there now.
That's interesting. Especially now that we don't have the Anti-Flight 2+, we're actually using this Strength 9. There's a lot of...
Melee attack only.
Oh, it's melee.
So this is the Warglaive buff.
I like that less. I don't mind it, but I like it less. Still, not bad.
Yeah.
What's the last one?
Martial Tuition. While 2 or more Armiger models are under the effects of the Bear's bondsman ability, once per turn, you can target one of those Armiger models with the counteroffensive stratagem for 0 CP.
So you're just heroic intervention?
No, that's interrupt.
Oh.
Free interrupt. Once per turn.
Okay, that's not bad.
Not once per battle, but you only use it
you're
when it starts.
really...
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Not bad.
no, it just, you know what? I will say now that Warglaives have more attacks baseline, I could think about that.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe here's the one case for that Moirax with dual claws.
I guess.
Blake Law just heard me say that wherever he is and got so excited.
I bet he did, but I'm a Moirax hater.
It's
Not, yeah.
there's the possibility.
All right, most of those enhancements are cheap. Fables of Nightmare and Tales of Heroism were each 10. Martial Tuition was 15. Mentor's Pride is 20. Mentor's Pride is the real ones. That would be best one I got it. For ones I think
really want to take.
I think this is the first time I've seen a detachment where the cost was actually proportional to how much I liked it. Usually it's like the best enhancement, 15 points. The worst enhancement, 35. I was like, okay.
For me, it's rough that all of those, if you start knocking out Armigers, you reduce the power of all Armigers. Like it's the inverse of the Questoris companions, which will get stronger
As the game goes on.
As the game goes on, you just can start removing.
Yeah. If I can only pick one Armiger for my bondsman ability, they don't use the enhancement at all.
Correct. And it's wasteful.
Or I lose the big knight that I don't want.
Yeah. And so to me, some of this construction feels a little bit like Thousand Suns did in the Index, where it was a house of cards, and once you kicked out like the important support, it fell apart.
Yeah. Still a good amount of power in here though, so
it can function well when it's all there. So
stratagems.
Stratagems. Virtue of Courage, 1 CP, start of the fight phase, 1 Armiger model for your army, or 1 Imperial Knights Titanic model for your army, and 1 or more friendly Armiger models affected by that model's bondsman ability. So you could be looking at 1 Big Knight and 3 Armigers affected by this.
Okay.
Select 1 enemy unit. Until the end of the phase, each time one of your Armiger models makes an attack that targets the enemy unit, add 1 to the hit roll.
Okay.
All your Armigers have +1 to hit.
So even though the stratagem targets a big knight,
it's
only the Armiger benefits.
Only the Armiger benefits.
This is actually a really weird case of if the big knight is battle shocked.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to target
from the stratagems.
You can't bounce it to all of the bondsman ones.
Interesting.
Yep. Exemplar's Wisdom is our second one. Also, again, all 1 CP. This is your shooting phase just after an Imperial Knights Titanic model from your army has shot.
Okay.
The target, it's going to sound familiar, that Imperial Knights Titanic model and 1 or more friendly Armiger models affected by that model's bondsman ability. Select 1 enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks from the Titanic unit. Until the end of the phase, each time one of your Armiger models makes an attack that targets the enemy unit, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. So Squire's Duty with some more hoops.
Yeah, so simple terms, the defender shoots the enemy with a stubber or something while its big guns go somewhere and say, hey, 3 Helverins that I gave -1 damage to, +1 AP against that guy.
Yes.
Or you could have a Warden do the same thing and now say, hey, these Helverins are now sustained, ignore cover, and +1 AP against that guy.
Yep.
And so that is actually quite useful.
Just a little bit, and again, but if you lose the Titanic model and you really lose the ability to bounce it. Third up, we've got Mantle of the Mentor. So this is start of your shooting phase. Target 1 Armiger model or 1 Imperial Knights Titanic model and 1 or more friendly Armigers affected by bondsman.
Cool.
Until the end of the phase, your Armiger models are eligible to shoot in a turn in which they fall back. That is good.
So shoot.
Not shoot or charge, not shoot and charge, just shoot.
Still, 3 Armiger falling back and shooting is a lot. That's a good 1 CP.
It just, you don't have dead models. Or, sorry, models that cannot activate.
It's bad when it happens. You don't want it.
Our 4th stratagem, thin their ranks. Also started the shooting phase. Target 1 Armiger model from your army or
I'm starting to warm up to these stratagems.
Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by those Armiger models have rapid fire 1 ability. So you're looking at an additional shot on each weapon.
I mean, Warglaive's at point blank going from 3 Melta shots to 5 Melta shots. It's all ranged weapons?
All ranged weapons.
It's up to 3 Armigers?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. 1 CP. Not bad.
You're cranking up the Melta volume.
On Helverin, 2 extra shots is not bad, but I would need 3 of them to be shooting. But it also works at longer range, so like they're like 72.
And it's not against a specific target.
Yeah.
So you can be...
If I just spent a CP to get 6 extra shots off of a Helverin, I wouldn't be across 3 Helverins, I wouldn't be mad. If they already have buffs on them, like sustained, ignore cover, it's
just better. Yeah, more dice if you've already got that.
More dice, more better.
Next stratagem, let duty be your shield. Your opponent's shooting phase just after your enemy has selected its targets. Target 1 Armiger unit from your army that was selected as a target. So this can only target an Armiger. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets a unit, worsen the AP of that attack by 1. So it's AOC.
Armor of Contempt, and that stratagem is going to get covered by the basic balanced data slate update that makes it only for the activation off of the turn. Armor of Contempt for an Armiger is still nice.
On a single activation, yep.
Especially if you've got one that is potentially -1 damage and you're just trying to force your opponent to send out multiple threats to deal with 1 Armiger, that's useful.
And finally, we have Squires of the Hunt. And this is at the end of your opponent's fight phase. Target 1 Armiger or a Titanic and all of its bondsmen's Armigers. For each of your Armiger models that is within 9 inches of 1 or more battlefield edges and not within engagement range, you can remove that Armiger and place it in strategic reserves.
So that is very useful. I will say there's one thing I don't love, which is that that stratagem to put you into reserves if you come in from reserves, you're not getting any positive abilities.
Correct.
Then you're losing a lot of the detachment synergies. So the detachment is very, in your command phase, your big knights buff your little knights, and that is how the rest of your rules would flow downhill from there to be any effectiveness at all.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes for mission play or just like getting around the table, it's still
turn 3, turn 4 late.
That's not an every turn kind of strategy.
No, it's not an offensive strategy. It's a tactical strategy.
So that detachment, still good.
Still good. The power, but you have to stack the right things.
Yeah.
And I think for any canny opponent who can go, okay, so like the Warden gives out the sustained, ignore cover, and reroll ones to hit, and allows access to all these stratagems. So if I kill the Warden,
this really wants to be like 2 shooting knights, and the Warglaives and Helverins in front of it running interference that the 2 shooting knights don't kill. It's like, I think I would take a Crusader and a Defender, maybe a Warden and a Defender, and then just say the rest of this is knights, and they're just
Armigers.
You try to get like 8 Armigers in there. I'd have to run the points, probably 8-ish, and then they go jam in front. And that's not bad, but it's not. I don't think that the power is in the Armiger chassis right now the same way as it is with Chaos Knights. So I really do expect that to be the least commonly seen of the detachments, even though 3 -1 damage Armigers at a time is really strong. I just think the other detachments are going to be more interesting.
I agree. Really curious to hear what other people feel, because
absolutely.
Some of those are just absolutely amazing detachments.
They are indeed.
And John, I'm excited to get all of them on the table and to just
no doubt.
I don't know which I will like more. Gate Warden is going to be fun.
I believe you.
But I do look forward to like taking Valourstrike and getting first turn on Nick. And I am your deployment zone.
All 3 of those had a real appeal. Valourstrike, very, very strong. That one has the most potential, I think, to be a little bit oppressive.
I agree.
I personally prefer Questoris companions because I really like the options in the toolkit and the 5 turns of Warhammer, because that is very much a 5 turns Warhammer army, because you're never getting the detachment rule until after you've completed the first. So you're spreading it across turns. That's how I like to play Warhammer, and that's how I like to play Knights. But I will say there is some appeal to, I am on the line, I am faster than you are, die.
Valourstrike feels like it could wind up being very point and click, which...
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I would rather that power be behind like the mechanics of Questoris Companion or of a Gate Warden, where there's... And so I'll be interested to see how it may or may not get adjusted. Yeah. My fear, I hope that detachment would be adjusted rather than the Knight models, because we run into every other detachment that becomes significantly less viable.
Yeah.
But I would say the unifying factor between all 3 of the detachments that we find strongest is introducing good movement buffing abilities. Some Imperial Knights.
Yeah. And it's better to be fast everywhere, fast in certain places with damage buffs, or to have more reaction
to what your opponent says if they're dictating the flow.
Who knows?
All of those are options and pieces in our toolkit that we have not had before. And for that, I think Imperial Knights players should just be really excited.
Yes.
Because sometimes you can fall into the rut with a list of like, well, these are my options. Like, this is what I can do. And now it's just, there's so much more there. And because of the way those stratagems and the detachment power can kind of flow into any chassis, that's why I think we'll see almost every chassis represented in lists at some point, because you can take between the quality and deeds, stratagems, detachment abilities.
Yep.
You can make a case for almost any one of those.
Yeah, when we were going down this, we talked about the Crusader and the Gallant in various attachments. Like, I love those. The Defender in all of them. Canis Rex has some real value. The Paladin, to me, the loser of the bunch is the Errant. The Errant is the one I don't have a look at and I say, oh yeah, this is an attachment for the Errant. I just don't. But even then, you know what? I don't mind advancing shooting some Armigers that are just going really fast.
And I think the Preceptor has a place that it could really shine in the Questoris Companions. Full rerolls to wound, just
pretty good.
You pick the character unit you need, or you're knocking those off the list. And it's the cheapest. It's 365, so
that is cheap.
It's a way for us to get those wounds on the table. I
see that actually mattering a lot, especially if you're trying to fit 4 knights in. It could be a bit important. So tons of options here. Make sure you stay tuned. We're gonna have a lot to talk about over the coming weeks. And I'm willing to bet you're going to see a lot more Brian in the house talking about this new Imperial Knight release. It's finally time. Glad to have you back, buddy.
So excited.
So if you like this codex, if you like this army, if you like this video, please like the video. Share it with your friends, leave a comment, subscribe. This all helps us grow the channel and it's massive for us. As well, if you want to see a game featuring Brian's new Imperial Knight Codex, make sure you pop over to the War Room today. That's the link in the description below. There's a free 3-day trial if you've never been a part of the War Room but want to check it out. thewarroom.vhx.tv. You can see a game we're playing there. As well, subscribe to the channel and you get notified because there's more games, more tier lists, more Knight content coming up. So
hit us up in the Discord if you've got questions, ideas, things that you see in lists that maybe John and I haven't mentioned yet. But
absolutely, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, we're really excited. But thank y'all so much.
All right, thank you. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.